before my pitch in Singapore, I didn't even have a visa. I had two choices. One of them would have killed my startup before even it started. I still got on the plane. What happened next? I never saw it coming. At 18, I skipped college just to bet on myself. In 5 minutes, in front of real investors, I had to pitch and prove that I was crazy enough to solve this problem. I pitched and I got the commitment of $70,000, and it was just the beginning. Hi, this is Khushal Davesar. From no visa to $70,000 in commitment. Want the how? Subscribe to Dreemen Teen Talk Show.
So, Kushal, take us to that moment when there was no visa, 48 hours before Wave Sparks. What was going through your mind and what made you keep still building?
I was stuck in this weird mix of panic and belief. Like the visa wasn't coming because for Indians, it was taking much longer to get a Singaporean visa. It took like 12, 15 days. And I had like my flight in 2 days and I didn't have my visa. I had two choices, either sit and suck off focus on what I could control. I kept on building because I realized visa or no visa, if the product worked, the opportunity would come back around. I got my visa just like 24 hours before my flight. And then I just went to Singapore, pitched my actual pitch deck, got some good commitments, like $70,000 in for the startup. It all worked. It all like was on time. And yeah, here I am now building my startup in Singapore.
That's seriously impressive. Most adults don't have that kind of clarity, let alone teens. So you could have gone to college in US. Why risk it all for a startup? Why did you bet on yourself?
The US college dream was always there, but I kept asking myself, like, was I chasing it because I wanted it or because everyone else did? So I had seen the real problems, the real world problems firsthand in Southeast Asian market, like in the F&B space, and I just couldn't shake off the urge to fix them. Like betting on myself wasn't about ego. It was about realizing that waiting for 4 years to start would be a bigger risk. If I have a problem, I know I could solve it. Like, why not to risk start solving the problem if you have initial investment? That was the mindset. I know a problem. There are people who believe I can solve this, and I believe in myself. Initial plan was I was going to US this fall 2025, but because of Singapore, I changed my all the plans. I'm not going to US. I'm on a gap year building Worksta, which is our startup for F&B space in Southeast Asia.
Well, let's talk about the pitch. 5 minutes. Real investors, you are on the podium. How did you plan the nervousness, the heartbeat, and what exactly did you tell them that made them listen?
Okay. So first of all, I knew I had 5 minutes to prove two things. That is like, there's a real problem and I'm crazy enough to fix it. So I opened with the real stories of restaurants losing staff overnight. I used main points they could feel. What worked, instead of saying we will, I said we did. Like I show commitment, early traction. Why I understand this market better than the most. We were solving a problem, bringing in student employment. That is something I think being a student is something we like. My other co-founders are students as well from Singapore. Those 5 minutes, I was nervous. I didn't know like how it'll go, and it all like came so sharp. I'll be Singapore pitching to these founders at Marina Bay Sands, real world investors coming from different countries. Yes, I had like sort of things set up. I had mentors who taught me like bunch of things. We have this 500 global startup which put in money to startups who have actually been established, have ARR of like $1 million. So I had mentors from those big organizations, given me an idea of what you need to pitch down in those 5 minutes. I think that helped a lot. And those 5 minutes were like the most nervous moments in my entire life. Nothing like beats them all. None of my board results closer to that. But that was fun.
Is this Worksta solving the problems only of Singapore or India and the markets across Southeast Asia?
We are like now focused on Singaporean market for the MVP. But yeah, we are solving this problem for Southeast Asian countries at the very first. For India, I think India is like a longer game. We are not looking to India right now because the problem of this staff shortages is much bigger in Southeast Asian countries. For now, we are focused on Singaporean market right now, and then we'll go to Southeast Asian countries.
Why did you choose Singapore?
I chose Singapore because Singapore is like a really small market. It's a market to capture really fast. And when you're building something, so to just try out things, try out like our MVP with our product, do we have a product market fit? And again, to look up to the MVP to see will it work or not. Singapore is a perfect market to go on. And what we are doing, we are bringing on students. We are giving employment to students who are above 16. So students in Singapore are up for working. There's like people are up for working, students are down to work. They have gig force. So we thought, okay, let's start with Singapore.
So how much investment did you secure?
We have secured like around $70,000 from one investor, and we have commitment for like another $10,000-15,000 to come in. We were asking for $26,000 as
Yeah.
initial investment, and we got like $70,000 coming in. So that
Unexpected.
sounds crazy. It was sort of unexpected. If you have that much amount of money coming in, you have to look up for your education because I might have to take a dropout. I'm not going to college anymore. So I have to look up to that. My parents don't want it. They want me to go to college abroad. So I'm like putting my whole life into Worksta for like next 15, 16 years, actually building this.
It's a pretty good investment.
Yeah, actually, it's like a huge amount of number for such a, like me as a high schooler. I just graduated my high school. We are actually trying to solve a problem. The investors, we had a 10-minute meeting with the investor. So they were like, okay, we are interested. We'll give you $70,000. And I was like shocked, completely shocked. Then we looked up to things, okay, $70,000. How are we going to manage the money? What is our roadmap?
You were just 18 and new to Singapore's food and beverages space. How did you build credibility so fast?
For credibility, it's like I showed up. I cold walked into restaurants with my co-founders, asked honors like for 5 minutes, and we listened more than I talked. I was like selling. We weren't selling at the very start. I was just like genuinely learning. The more conversations I had, the more they started trusting me. I wasn't pretending to be an expert. I positioned myself as a young builder, obsessed with solving this staffing problem. So it was like we were more showing up to different restaurants, different owners, trying to look up what they're facing as an issue. So yeah, we were just trying to learn more about the problem. We were not just like, okay, this is what I saw, so I should just solve it up. We were like going in deep into the market, looking up to people, going to restaurant chains, restaurant owners, and asking, okay, what's the problem you're facing? Yeah, that was the case completely with us. We were not like bombasting the market with what we saw, but asking, okay, what's the problem? What's the issue that you're actually facing from these many years? Yeah, this was like what I feel might have brought that credibility to Worksta for the very start.
You said you had been going to restaurants, you went to real people who actually face the problems.
Yeah.
Did you live in Singapore where you actually went to all the restaurants and hotels and the people and you talked to them? How did you outreach them?
I wasn't in Singapore. I was in Singapore in December last year. So when I saw the problem, and then we had like 3-4 days to actually validate the problem. My other co-founders are from Singapore. So it was like those 3-4 days, I just went to different restaurants with them. Like they have these Clarky Walk like at streets, which are a lot of restaurant chains. So we went to multiple restaurants asking out, okay, we just want to talk to the manager. What's the issue you're facing? How do you think it can be solved? So for those 3 days, it went like very smooth like that. But all of we as co-founders are high schoolers. So we all got busy after that, like for whole of our January, Feb was like my boards. And even they were busy with their school stuff. So after that, like we started outreaching on emails, had a bunch of online meetings, and all those co-founders who were in Singapore, they were going to restaurants. So we were capturing a sort of market like this. We were two co-founders from India, so we were just actually outreaching them from email. We were having a video conversation, and we had built different Google forms asking what level problem are you facing and how can we solve that. Initially, this was how it was going on. And yeah, we actually validated the problem, build out a solution, and then we started developing the MVP. That's how it all like initially took off.
What's the team at Worksta like? Like, how many are the founders?
We have 5 founders, I and 3 from Singapore, and one is an Indian girl from Lucknow. She's going to Berkeley for higher education for her undergrad. One of us is in army in Singapore. It's not like we all 5 of us are working on the idea. It's like when 2 are not online, 3 of us are working, or 2 of us are working on the idea. working on the MVP. This is how we are working right now because the time zone difference is something that is actually affecting the whole process, but we are still managing it all. And yeah, this is how it's going. Like we all are high schoolers. Three of us graduated high school. One is going to Berkeley, one is in army. Two of them are still in high school and they have their, what do we say, level A's. Yeah. So they are all preparing for their school, everything. Yeah. So it's like whenever someone gets time, we start working on it.
It's amazing what the five of you have created. How did you validate
Yeah.
Worksta as a real solution before even building the MVP? And for the viewers, I would like you to explain what MVP is.
So first thing first, we simply ran like simple pivots. It's like before building tech, we manually connected staff to the restaurants and tracked the simple outcomes, like what's happening, everything is going smoothly or not. MVP is the most viable product. So it's like before the actual product, you build something like sort of a prototype. It's not the final product, but it gives you an idea of how the product might work as. How we validated it was like we just ran out simple pivots. If owners were willing to use like a broken manual process just for the result, we knew the demand was real. That validation mattered more than any survey. So yeah, we was just like doing it manually for the very first bunch of gigs. They went out for the surveys, then we called them, okay, how was the surveys? We actually helped those students. We trained online how you have to work, how you're going to a restaurant, what all things you have to perform, how do you operate a coffee machine, how do you operate ice machine. So what all bunch of things that you have to perform at the restaurant. And that was like the initial validation that we did. Like we were sending people manually, calling the restaurants, and they were like, actually, okay, people are coming and they're working for 5 hours, and after the shift they're paying them out. And now we are building the MVP. Then we made a bot, like a WhatsApp bot. So yeah, now we are building the MVP using the investment that we have like in commitments. We'll be launching in August.
So, if someone like Ayurta
Mhm.
wants to work, suppose they are using Worksta and she has no
Mhm.
idea about what to do. So, does it
Mhm.
provide actual training, what she is supposed to do?
Yeah, so it's like for initially we'll be adding micro courses to the platform. Like when you come, you sign up and you have to like get qualified using all these micro courses. So how these micro courses are, like if you're a gig worker, what all things you need to know, like how to operate a coffee machine, how to serve someone, and all of those things, right? So we have added all these micro courses, we are working on it. And once you're done with the micro courses, you're like ready to show up on the platform. And when you are doing your initial gigs, like your first bunch of gigs, will recommend you to reach restaurants like 20, 30 minutes before your actual gig starts and look up like, okay, how things function at the restaurant, looking up to other gig workers, okay, how are they working, and getting well connected to the manager, okay, how I need to perform. Initially, this is the plan. In the long run, this might not be how it is right now, but yeah, for like next couple of months, this is how it will look like
I
to a
think it's
new gig
nice.
worker coming in.
If there's a newcomer, you train him through your app
Mhm.
and then you connect him to the employer. This is great. What else are the
Yeah,
people still college freshers, high schoolers? It's very good for them. Even
yeah,
for a
actually,
person, if
because
they're temporarily unemployed, they can take it up.
yeah, it's for gig workers. But we are focusing on the some student community. But yeah, anyone who is free for like a weekend and wants to make some sort of money, you're like 5 hours free on a weekend. You can just go to Worksta, book up a gig. Okay, I'm free on this time. Restaurants have listed their gigs. Okay, we want someone to work at this restaurant. You can just put up. Okay, I'll be coming. You just go join them up. You work for 5 6 hours. You get paid. Yeah, you're good to go. So this is how it will work.
I think you should start in India as well. We have a lot of population. It's
Yeah,
really beneficial.
but again, for India, we need a lot of pivot to be done. We need this to be like first work in Singapore, Southeast Asian countries, and then of course we'll come to India as well.
Good.
What tools or tech stack or platforms helped you build quickly and smartly?
Okay, initially we used no code stack at first, Airtable, Software, and Zapier to automate the matching. Like once we have validated, we are shifting to React Native frontend, Firebase backend, and Node.js for the dashboards. We aren't obsessed with the flashy tech. We choose like we choose what could get users faster, the things that could be done instantly, and the MVP actually builds up really faster. We are using all those simple tech, but yeah, it's like we're using Firebase for the backend, React Native for the front end, and no Next.js for the dashboards.
Does it need any investment, all these tools and technology?
I think if you're building an HD, you don't require a sort of investment. But when you are at a certain level, when you have a lot of gigs coming and you have a lot of people on your platform, you do need some sort of investment for managing all those database systems and everything. But initially, you don't require any sort of investment to build the first MVP, first prototype.
Kushal, what did you learn from rejections or investor pushback? If you have faced that most teens don't realize very early.
I guess like most rejections aren't personal, they are perspectives, right? So every note taught me how little like I actually knew. And teens often fear rejections because they think it meant personal and they're not good enough to build something. The truth is, rejection is just feedback on the gap between you, what you have, and what market actually wants. So yeah, it's like every rejection I got was I thought of it as a perspective. Okay, what's something we could do better? What is something someone else actually requires? Rejection, it was sort of feedback for us. We could actually do something about that. Yeah, it was sort of that mindset for us.
You're proof that you don't need to wait for permission or a degree to start something impactful. You co founded with people across time zones. How did you find them and actually work with them?
I'll say communities. That's the answer. Like I joined global programs like launch hackathons and Slack group. The key was clear communication and over clarifying expectations, I guess. We weren't like just co-founders. We were friends. We were like brutally honest teammates who respected each other's time zones and trusted like each other's ownership. So it was just like we just believed in each other. We were never like, okay, this is your percentage, so you'll be working much higher than me. So you have to put in more hours into the work. It was like we had same goals. The team should be always on like one page. Everyone should be ambitious. Whatever we are building, this is where we have to go. So during launch checks, if we were building a company for NFC cards, it was like a goal was clear. Like at the end of this week, we need $300 plus sales. We had the connection between all of us. And communities again was something which connected me to different founders from different countries, different time zones. I named launch checks, I named Slack groups and hackathons. Hackathons going to different events. For me, like I have been into different summer programs. I joined Launchx. I got into Launchx Michigan program. It like I joined Launchx online and I went to YTS. That's another community. Like it's like a in-person summer program for computer science explorers, and it was held in Chandigarh in India. Then I joined. So it was like we were in different groups. We were applying to different programs. Then the Singapore one came in. It was like YC for students. Like if you're from 15 to 20, you can just come in. We'll put in some money if we really feel like okay, you're good enough. You're a good founder. You know what you're doing, and you actually get a good market fit. It was like everything just came in. I and my one of my friends were just applying to different programs when we were in grade 12th, 11th, giving it a shot.
So how did you know about all these programs? There are so many teens out there who have no idea that LaunchX exists, WaveSparks exists, there is a code day, there are hackathons. How did you know?
I guess LinkedIn helped me a lot. LinkedIn is like one single platform where everyone is putting up their achievements. So for me, it was like, okay, going to LinkedIn, I might see something that I can do as well. Then when you go to different events, you meet a bunch of other people who are doing different things, right? I and my one friend, we were just going to different cities to attend different programs, different hackathons. So we were attending like 72-hour hackathon, 36-hour long hackathons, and we were meeting like different hundreds of people on the same day, and everyone was doing different stuff. We both were high schoolers, and everyone was like first year, second year student. We just got to know about a lot of cool things that they were building, and we got ideas. Okay, this is something we can do as well. I think we weren't replicating them, but it was we were getting an idea. Okay, this is something that they are doing. What's the next step? What's something we could do better from them? So this is how it all started. And getting all those opportunities was like again the community that you get in. Like if you get into one program, you meet a bunch of different people, and they have also done like a lot of things.
Yeah,
So you can just ask them out, like, what are you doing at this point in time? They'll tell you, okay, we were doing this. And LinkedIn, again, it's a very good platform. Look up to different people. What are they doing? And yeah. it will work out for you.
So if there's a teen out there who doesn't understand what hackathons are, what would you say? What is a hackathon, and how do they know that we are like capable enough to attend one?
A lot of hackathons are beginner friendly. A hackathon is like, it's a place where you go and you have different programmers come at a place and build something. Like you have, if there's a 12-hour long hackathon, you have a time limit. You have to get into a practical idea. You have to solve a real world problem. They have like subtopics for that hackathon. They'll give you, okay, you have to solve a problem regarding education, okay? And you have like 12 hours to solve that problem. So you have to, first you have to break out into teams, you find new people, you make your co-founder in that hackathon, you ask someone, okay, so this is my idea. I have an idea in my mind, which I'm brainstorming. Then you brainstorm that idea with someone else. Okay, this is something I think, how can we solve this problem better? So they'll tell you, okay, this is my perspective. And when others' perspectives comes in, you build something, you start developing that, and you have a MVP build after that 12 hours. Then you pitch that MVP to the judges at the hackathon, and then they evaluate different sort of ideas. Okay, so at one hackathon, you solve multiple problems, different perspectives, and different ideas comes out. And like a lot of things which are today present on the like actual real product were built in a hackathon. So Zepto was like a prototype which was built just like in lockdown, right? They were two Adit Palcha and his co-founder, they were just sitting, helping their society uncles and aunties, right? So they were like not able to go pick up the groceries. They were like, okay, this is a WhatsApp group. You just tell me what you want and we'll just ship to you. So hackathons are like exactly the same. We'll just tell you a problem. The jury will tell you a problem. Okay, this is a set of problems you can solve, and you just start shipping it. Okay, this is how we can build it, and you build it at the end. And yeah, this is like how a hackathon is. And it's like a lot of hackathons in India are beginner friendly. If you know like nothing about programming, just grab your laptop, go to a hackathon. You'll meet different sort of people. You'll network a lot, and again, like you'll learn something. So we were not like that good coders at the beginning. I think I was in grade 10th when I joined my first hackathon, and we were not that good programmers. We were just website developers who could just like scrap a normal HTML, CSS, JavaScript website. And we were in a hackathon where we have to build actual product which was working. We didn't knew what an API is. So there were a lot of things we didn't knew, and we just went to that hackathon. We had like students who were in third, fourth year of the university. They made us like know about a lot of things. So yeah, when you go to hackathons, you learn a lot of things. You connect to a lot of people, you network a lot, and they are actually very helpful for your exposure and getting used to a lot of things.
I think you also improve your public speaking skills, you improve your social skills, you improve your networking skills when you enter.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's a good idea for
All of
everyone
the-
to go.
Yeah, it's a really good idea for everyone to actually join a hackathon.
So
We are
is
hosting one, like we were hosting one next month.
cool.
This month in Chandigarh, 26, 27 July. It's an overnight event, like 24 hour long. We were organizing it for like Chandigarh's high schoolers, and we are like looking for a lot of people coming in, 200, 300 people who will be joining us at Chandigarh University.
Nice. You're doing good jobs. So hackathons are in
it's
every city?
like there are a bunch of organizations which actually try to ship hackathons to every city. Like there's Code Day, which is an organization which tries to like actually do a hackathon in each
Right.
city in India and different countries. They're in US, they're in South Africa and Australia. And there's specific about India right now. They want hackathons to come in India to different cities to actually bring youth to programming. And they are all beginner friendly. They don't want you to like be a good programmer. They
Everything.
just want you, if you have an idea, how you're going to convert that idea into reality. They just want this. They want crazy ideas. They don't want you to ship something which is a problem solving thing. They just want you to ship anything crazy that's like, okay, anyone see that and they say, wow, what's this? Yeah, that's the whole point. And we are doing one code day this month in Chandigarh, then next month in Dehradun. So yeah, it's like even we are trying now to do some sort of hackathons to actually
Of
bring
luck.
out
Doing
youth.
great.
Yeah, thank you.
At such a young age, you have the clarity of an adult. Like,
Oh,
how did
really?
you figure out things so young?
I don't know, like how did we figure out? But it's like I think we just experimented a lot of things. Whenever I saw something, I was like, okay, let's try it out. I was straight on. It's not like, okay, I won't be trying this. Someone has done this before. It was like, okay, someone has done this. Even I can try. I can give it a try. So I've seen people hosting hackathons. I have attended a lot of hackathons. So my first hackathon was a code day itself. It was like first time getting hosted in Amritsar. So I just went for it. I didn't know what a hackathon is. Like a lot of Indian students, they don't know what it is. So one of my school seniors was organizing it. I just went at the hackathon. I learned a lot of stuff. There was people coming from good universities. Like I had someone from Stanford at a code day. So it was like really embracing for me. So yeah, I think like experimenting with things, going out, doing networking is something which will help you and which helped me a lot.
You worked with mentors from Riot Games, SMU, and more. Any tips on how should teens reach out to mentors the right way?
By not asking for mentorship. It's like but like asking for the advice on one specific things. Mentors don't want to adopt someone, right? So it's like they want to help like where they can actually add value to it. Every mentor I connected with like it all started with a one question, one conversation, and a genuine follow up, right? So it's like if they actually think you're doing something worthful, they'll start giving you advice, and then they'll generally like finally become your mentor. But if you go ask them out, like how will you actually ask someone, okay, become my mentor? That's like something really foolish, I guess. It's like someone who actually seems like, okay, this guy is doing something worthful and he genuinely requires advice from me. I have experience in sort of this stream. I can actually genuinely help him out. So they'll come from front, okay, I want to give you sort of advice. And then like in later terms, you start saying it, okay, I got mentorship from this sort of persons, this good people, right? So it never starts with mentorship as a concept. It's like advice. It's one conversation, one follow-up, one question. So yeah.
That's a very important point. They don't want to adopt you.
Exactly. They mentors don't want to adopt you. Adopt someone, like anyone. Like why will someone adopt someone? Right? It's like you ask me a genuine question, I'll answer it if I have expertise regarding that concept. Yeah, that's something like actually worked for us.
If anybody has a question or they need some help from you, they should directly ask a question, not ask for mentorship.
Exactly. Exactly. Like they can genuinely ask a question. And if I have sort of expertise, I'll be like, okay, I might like actually go and ask for a follow up, or you are giving me follow up like after 2 weeks. Okay, you told us this and this is what happened. So that would like actually pull up interest of that mentor into your business idea, your startup idea, or anything that you're doing, right?
But don't just ask question for the sake of a question. Do actually implement the
Yeah,
idea. So if
exactly.
somebody wants to reach out to you, how do they reach out to you?
Like to me or like any
Yeah,
mentor.
to Kushal.
Okay, so you can just go to my LinkedIn, just search for my name on LinkedIn, you'll get it. Even if you go to Google and search my name, you'll get it on top. Some SEO. So yeah, it's like you can message me on LinkedIn, you can get me on my email ID. I'll get back to you. I'm very responsive on emails. And yeah, it is. Like most of mentors I met, they take like a long while to respond on LinkedIn. But if you email them today, they'll get back to you like the next morning. Yeah, emails is something that I'll recommend anyone who is reaching out to anyone, like a good mentor. Like if you want to reach out to me, you can either go for LinkedIn or you can just send me a Gmail, right? Everything works to me. But if you're reaching out to someone who is at a good university, at a good position, I recommend like going for email.
That's a very important tip.
Yeah, learn like doing a lot of emails.
Now is the time for our rapid fire round. There will
Okay.
be no thinking. So whatever comes to your mind first, just answer.
Okay.
One book every teen founder should read.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
One mistake you're glad you made early.
Reaching out to people, not thinking about what will happen, what will they say, how would they judge me.
Do teens trust easily or are we more skeptical now?
I think they are spectacle, but once you're into good conversation, you start like exploring your personal stuff, and it all like comes in. So it becomes personal. It becomes a good thing to work on. It's like everyone has to put in some sort of personal stuff to a group meeting. So you all come to, I'll say, common gesture to work on. It can't be like that professional in a good co-founders group, right? So you need something jolly, something funny to happen.
One thing you think schools should teach, but they don't.
Entrepreneurship.
What would you do if you had all the money in the world?
If I had all the money, I would travel the world. I'll be just taking flights, okay, from different places to different countries. I won't be like at a place. If you see me today in Dubai, next day I'll be in Switzerland. So I'll be just taking flight, traveling to different countries, exploring cultures, meeting new people, and trying out different things. Again, making different experiences. I'll be like building something, traveling the world, exploring different things, cultures, and all. I'll start exploring space tech. That is something which actually inspires me a lot.
So thank you, Kushal. Thank you so much. I wish you all the success. I wish to see Worksta in every country, in every city. It's a need of the
Thank
hour.
you
You
so
are
much.
solving an unemployment problem. You're doing a great job
Thank
for
you.
humanity. And I hope you will
Thank you
create
so
many
much.
more companies.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll love to
Thank
see
you.
how this turn out.
Kushal, this was very interesting. Thank you for showing us what real action at 18 looks like. You don't wait to be picked. You build your own path. And now more teens know that they can too. If this conversation with Kushal lit a fire in you, there's more where that came from. Check out our brand new edition of the Next Gen magazine, created by the teens for the teens, and support stories that matter. If this inspired you, pass it on, like, share, and subscribe for more teen